Now then, I'm back with Dr. Max Gowland, of course, a doctor of biochemistry. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What time it was now.
Good to see you.
Been up since 5 o'clock, so I'm slightly sort of disorientated. Really good to see you as always. We've got here now from Prime 50 a 120-day supply of the Strong Bones formulation here. 402046 is your item number. 120 days supply for £17. Just before we hear from Max, let's have a look at the overview of this particular formulation.
As we enter our 50s and beyond, we tend to lose bone mass and bone strength, especially women in and beyond the menopause. Bones can end up being more porous and weaker than normal bones, so we need to maintain our bone health for as long as possible. We know that vitamin D, vitamin K, calcium and even magnesium are all key to ongoing bone health. Unfortunately, UK food intake surveys show that most older adults are failing to reach the recommended targets across some nutrients which can affect our bone health. Prime 50's Strong Bones formula is designed to support bone health in the over 50s, with vitamin D and K plus calcium, magnesium, zinc and many other bone-relevant nutrients. The formulation also contains a special blend of nutrients to help support a number of age-relevant health areas, such as B vitamins for tiredness, manganese for tendons and ligaments, and even zinc for immunity. All Prime 50 products even contain special ingredients for increased absorption too. Support your ongoing bone health with Prime 50's Strong Bones, the only brand 100% focused on the nutritional needs of the over 50s and beyond.
There we go. That was a really handy little overview, actually. And let's pick up on that, because Prime 50 is the only supplement range targeted at 50 and overs, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I mean, we interviewed over 1,000 over 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s some time ago. We said, what is it that you want to protect as you get older? And they said, I just want to stay active, play with the grandkids, go shopping, go on holidays. So it was all about musculoskeletal health, muscle, bones, joints, and energy. That was the big four. And obviously today we're talking about looking after your bones, because as you heard from the little film, fortunately the bones are going downhill a little bit after 50, especially if you're female.
So what a great investment to make in your health. 120-day supply. Tell us, I mean, for £17, it's a brilliant, brilliant price. How often do we need to take this and when do we take it?
1 tablet per day. Preferably with a meal. I always say take any tablet with a meal. You get better absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins, for example, any time of day. Doesn't really matter.
Okay. And what's in there which you've developed that we can target this area of our health?
Right. Well, what we did, Craig, being a scientist, I went right back to first principle. I looked at the data that nutritionists and dietitians who are hired by the government, they go into people's homes, 3,000 across the UK, and they actually get them to fill in food diaries. And they try and work out what are people actually eating. So they fill out the food diaries, the data goes back to the lab, the scientists crunch the data to work out what vitamins and minerals they're actually eating. And hey presto, 95% of us don't get enough vitamin D in our food. Zinc, 82% are lacking. Magnesium, calcium, 47%. We're not getting the recommended daily allowance. And, I don't want to scaremonger, but we really should be getting the recommended daily allowance on all of these minerals and all of the vitamins. So what we've done is we've taken into account that data, so we've really done the science to the nth degree, and we've come up with this super formulation. So we've got everything in there. There are 11 bone care ingredients in here, not good old vitamin D and calcium, which everyone is aware of, but other things like vitamin K, there's magnesium, there's zinc, and a whole lot more. And
what I like, because I take the fighting fatigue, I'm not yet at 50, but I have started taking the fighting fatigue because of shift work and things. But I think what so many of us like about what Max does, because we can all go into a health food shop and ask for advice and get advice, but then we can end up with a list of supplements that we need and a list of vitamins and minerals. What you do, of course, is formulate and put it all together because you know what works in what quantities.
Yes, that's right. I've done so much research, a lot of scientific papers. I've met some of the top scientists around the world in terms of longevity and aging, bone health, muscle health, etc. And we've put together this formulation based on that information.
Let's have a look at this image here. Now, in fact, we've got a couple of images to show you. What does this show us here, Max?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the top of the femur, the hip joint. As you can see, the bone on the left-hand side is a perfectly healthy one. And as you age, you know, the bone can lose a little bit of density. If it loses density, it loses a little bit of strength. And you can end up with, you know, quite a nasty-looking bone on the right-hand side. I mean, this other slide illustrates it in just two simple photographs. Bone on the left, hip joint, perfectly okay. Bone on the right, there's lots of sort of voids or holes, and that's really where you're losing serious bone density.
Now, there are a couple of reviews already. They're both 5-star, and I think people talk about the size and the ease of taking them. And I was talking to Max beforehand. With something like fighting fatigue, I personally feel I can feel a difference. Lots of you have said that as well. This isn't a supplement you take to feel the difference, but this is a supplement you take to know you're investing in looking after that area of your health. And actually, it works out at that price, 14 pence a day. So it's hardly a big investment to give you peace of mind you're doing something for that part of your health.
Yeah, absolutely. Without being too scientific, you know, the calcium level in our blood has to be exactly pinpoint, precise and accurate. If we're not getting enough calcium, then the bloodstream says, I'm not getting enough calcium for homeostasis, that's what the scientists call it. Where can I get calcium? Oh, I'll get it from the bones, because 99% of the calcium in the body is in bones and teeth. So, you know, we do need to get that calcium. Not too much, though, because that can give rise to other issues. So what we've done is to balance the formulation properly, so there's not too much, not too little, and this is what this formulation is all about.
Let's have a look at bone density and what happens in men and women as we age. Now, actually, it's quite different between female and male, isn't it?
Yes, this is a very nice graph. Age along the bottom, 0 to 100, and then along the top axis, it's strength. So the higher up is the stronger the bone. You can see the blue is for male, obviously red is for female, and you can see that the males at about 30 and the females, they have maximum bone density, bone mass. Unfortunately, after about 50, the females do lose a lot of bone density and bone strength. And that's when it, you know, becomes a little bit more serious. We have to take this quite seriously. Like you say, you can't feel your bones, but we don't want to lose a lot of bone strength, because all it takes is, you know, a little bit of bone density that's lacking. You fall over and suddenly you don't just break a bone, but you might break a hip. Now, you don't want to break a hip as you get older. The outcome isn't always great, so the best is to try and avoid it. But in addition to that, we've also got other materials in here. Vitamin D is in not just at the RDA, the recommended daily allowance. Vitamin D is in there to help prevent falls in the over 60s. That is an approved health claim. The science has been done. So we've got just the right level of vitamin D as well. We have bioperin. It's an extract of black pepper to help this wonderful formulation absorb better, because as we get older, the gut doesn't absorb as well. Vitamin D is in here because a lot of people will say, well, you know, you can get vitamin D from sunlight. Absolutely spot on. Not a lot today,
good luck with
the last
that
few
one.
months.
Yeah.
But even in the summer, the rate at which I make vitamin D in my skin is only about 1/3 the speed of my sons and daughter.
Right.
That's the problem. So everything is in here to try and really protect our bone strength as we get older.
And this is why it's so targeted and so expertly formulated by Max and the team at Prime 50. I mean, 14 pence per day is what it works out, with a 120-day supply for £17. It's a real worthwhile investment in your health in this area of bone health. And of course, you still got your money-back guarantee that covers you over that first 30 days, just to make sure you're happy with the capsules and the size. Thank you very much, Max. We'll see you soon.
Pleasure.
Thank you as always. And of course, you can see actually the full Prime 50 range on our website at qvcuk.com.